It's been a beautiful couple of days for Arsenal, first beating Chelsea in the Carabao Cup semi-final, and now following it up with a 3-0 victory against Sunderland, a victory that they needed desperately, and a victory that sees Arsenal 9 points clear of Man City and Aston Villa before Man City go and play Liverpool. And again, massive, massive victory. It was a game that honestly was very, very tough to watch. Arsenal weren't at their scintillating best, and they haven't been for majority of the season. It's not a surprise. We haven't played our best football. We played better football in 22, 23, 23, 24. Now you're looking at Arsenal that it's not about the beautiful football. And for me, it's never really been about the beautiful football. It's about efficiency. It's about getting the job done. It's about grinding out results. And that's what they did today against a tough Sunderland team, a team that came to be physical, a team that came to put plenty of men behind the ball, but still showing aggressiveness. And they did. They were game. They didn't just sit back in a low block. They came to play. Arsenal needed to show up. Arsenal needed to get the job done. And that's exactly what they did. And so, guys, we're going to get into all of the stats, all of the player performances as we always do. Firstly, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment. I want to hear all your thoughts. But this is a big victory for Arsenal. Before Man City go and play Liverpool in what should be a tough game for Man City, it's very important that Arsenal get the job done. And they haven't at multiple times in the season already. The draw against Forest, the loss against Man United. There's multiple opportunities where Arsenal haven't got the job done. Today at home, they got the job done. 3-0 victory, as mentioned, Zubimendi with a goal. Gyokeres came off the bench with 2 goals. And again, we're going to get into the performances, high-level stats, 16 shots for Arsenal, 5 for Sunderland. And again, they were game, even possession. Listen, Sunderland gave as good as they got for majority of the game, but there was one big moment which opened up the game, and that was the Zubimendi goal. Before we get into all of that, again, the lineup for Arsenal saw Calafiori come back into the team. Obviously, you had Saliba and Gabriel in the centre back positions, Timber at right back, Zubimendi and Rice in the centre mid positions, Havertz behind Jesus and Trossard and Madueke on the wings. Arsenal without Saka and Odegaard once again, and the big decision for me was Jesus starting. That was the surprise. I think we've seen Havertz play behind Gyokeres in the last couple of games, and that's kind of what I was expecting coming into the game. Sunderland playing the 5 at the back as we knew they would. Again, a physical team, a tough team. You're never going to get an easy game out of Sunderland, or at least Arsenal aren't going to get an easy game out of Sunderland. They're physical, they're aggressive, and listen, I've got a lot of respect for what they've done in this league season. I believe they're around 8th or 9th in the table, and they've earned their position from playing hard, grinding out results. A big loss for them would have been the loss of Xhaka. Dan Ballard coming back into the team definitely added some stability that they desperately needed. And listen, as we got into the game, the first half was tough. I think Arsenal were finding positions or their movement was there, but the penetration wasn't. Chances were hard to come by. I didn't really like the combination that I saw of Jesus and Havertz. Havertz was okay picking up spaces. And again, one of the things I like about Havertz being back in the team, he allows Trossard to pick up a lot of different spaces because Kai can roam. He can pretty much pick up spots around the front line. He's very dynamic in that way. And it was good to see, but the fluidity up top wasn't there. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really want to see Jesus start many more Premier League games. He's done really well off the bench, but I don't see the effectiveness that we maybe saw a number of years ago. And again, the record he has scoring for Arsenal in the Premier League isn't mind-blowing. And the level of physicality that he has now, I feel like he almost shies away from some of that physicality. What he had before, where he was bouncing off players, he was causing trouble to some of the best centre backs in the league. I'm not seeing that anymore. The ball striking may still be there, which we've seen from some of the goals he scored, but maybe not the level of physicality that is required from someone of his side. He's not holding up the ball, and also just looked really ineffective. Noni didn't play well. Also, I wasn't impressed by his performance or Jesus' performance. Calafiori looked a bit unsteady coming back into the lineup. I wasn't really impressed by him either during the game. But a goal by Zubimendi on the edge of the box was a brilliant, brilliant strike. And he's somebody who has to be saluted for his performance. He is somebody who has stepped up continuously. The one goal, yes, continuously allowing the ball to flow. Passes into the final third were there, but more than that, he is somebody that has continuously stepped up for Arsenal. We talk about his impact. He is somebody who has scored 5 goals for Arsenal in this Premier League season. He's got to be top two, top three in terms of the goals that he scored for Arsenal in the Premier League. And again, you have to salute his performances, what he's done from that centre mid position. He has come through clutch, not only in the Leeds game, he's come through clutch, he's come through in the Carabao Cup, he's come through today. And that's exactly what you need from someone of his quality, continuously stepping up. 5 goals at this point of the season in his position. Brilliant. It's exactly what we need. And we've seen a lot more goals from Declan Rice previously. Now it's Zubimendi stepping up in the centre mid position. Arsenal need goals from everywhere. They need goals from absolutely everywhere, and he delivered. It was a beautiful strike just inside the near post, and it got Arsenal on the way. He celebrated using Moreno celebration, and that was a beautiful shout out for a player that is actually missed, a player who steps up in big games. And Zubi is doing the exact same thing. And that 1-0 scoreline, which we took into halftime, was crucial because I was nervous. I wasn't happy with that first half performance. Arsenal could have done a lot better than they were doing. But coming into the second half, again, it was a little unsteady. Saliba was booked in the first half. Robbie was causing all kinds of problems for Saliba. The physicality was there, the hold-up play was there. He was drawing fouls, he was winning corners. Sunderland had quite a few set pieces in that first half, and it was a worry of how Arsenal would continue. And that goal settled on us. And you'd think coming into the second half, Arsenal would take that momentum and carry on. But first 10, 15 minutes, it wasn't there. Arsenal did not have control of the game, and they brought on Martinelli and Viktor Gyokeres. And again, we're going to talk about Gyokeres coming off the bench, 2 goals. That takes him up to 8, I believe, in the Premier League this season. 8 in 23, improving. Improving. That is what we need. And I think the combination between him and Kai Havertz is one that I very much prefer than him and Kai Havertz and Jesus. That just did not work. And it was the combination that actually put Arsenal in the pole position. Kai played a really good game. Finding that space allowed Trossard to find him, and he found Gyökeres, who instinctively finished the ball 2-0 to Arsenal, and Arsenal were well on their way to getting all 3 points. And again, we'll talk about Gyökeres, and he finished the game, a brilliant run by Martinelli in transition. He found Gyökeres, who put the ball in the back of the net, probably the easiest goal you will see him score. And again, you come to the bench, you score 2 goals, you have to salute it. And again, I've given him a hard time because at some points of the season, he's deserved it. He hasn't performed to the level that you expect. But again, we need a goal scorer, someone who's going to put the ball into the back of the net. And he got 2 chances and he put the ball into the back of the net twice. You got to salute that. Again, you've got to salute that. He did his job. He got the chances. He got the service that many would say he hasn't been getting. But I like the combination between him and Kai. I like him in transition. That's the kind of moments he will thrive in. And that's exactly what he did. Arsenal seeing up the game. We'll look at the stat. First half, again, Arsenal weren't overly threatening. Brilliant finish from Zubimendi. As mentioned, that set us on our way. And in the second half, Arsenal were clinical. Gyökeres was clinical. And Sunderland, even though they had a little bit more of the ball, couldn't do as much with it. Arsenal locked down after they made those changes. They got a little bit more control of the game to eke out the victory. And it was a very, very important victory. As mentioned, looking at the table, Arsenal sit themselves 9 points clear. We see that Man City again will have their game against Liverpool, and it will be a very, very interesting game. And if Arsenal can go 9 points clear with Man City dropping points to Liverpool with 13 games to go, that is a massive, massive result. We will cover that game. But guys, let me know your opinion. Who was your man of the match? What did you think of Gyökeres' performance? What lessons have Arsenal learned from what they put out today? And who do you think is actually going to win between Man City and Liverpool tomorrow? I want to hear all your thoughts. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It's been EDA. Peace.